You're not getting anxious, and it's not losing control either. If your body started to react before your mind understood, if there were subtle tremors, hot flashes, inner silence, or that strange feeling that something in you has disconnected from the world, this is not emotional breakdown. It's your nervous system trying to keep up with a consciousness that has expanded too quickly. What if I told you that those unexplained tremors, that 3 a.m., insomnia, and that tingling in your spine are not symptoms of illness, but signs that your body is literally evolving into a higher frequency of existence? While doctors tell you that your tests are normal and you feel crazy for feeling what you feel, something extraordinary is happening in your biology that conventional science still can't fully measure. The truth that no one tells you is that millions of people around the world are experiencing the same strange symptoms right now. And this is no coincidence. It is a collective awakening of the human nervous system to fifth-dimensional frequencies. The paradox is brutal. The more you expand your consciousness, the more your body seems to collapse. But what if I prove to you that this collapse is actually an upgrade? Your nervous system, calibrated for millennia for survival and fear, is being forced to reconfigure itself to operate in unconditional love and unity. It's like trying to run quantum software on old hardware. Neuroscience is beginning to confirm what mystics have always known. Profound spiritual experiences cause real physical changes in the brain, in the vagus nerve, in the entire neural network that connects you with reality. And these changes come with a price your body pays in intense, scary, but absolutely necessary symptoms. Over the next few minutes, you will understand exactly what happens to your nervous system during fifth-dimensional experiences, why your body crashes at times, how to differentiate spiritual awakening from nervous breakdown, and most importantly, how to support this transformation without going crazy in the process. It's not abstract theory. It's practical knowledge based on real spiritual neurophysiology that can save your sanity and accelerate your evolution consciously. If you've ever felt tremors, tingling, or any strange symptoms during meditation or moments of expansion, comment here 5D so I know you're part of this collective awakening. Tremors that come out of nowhere, tingles that run through the spine like electric lightning, hot flashes that invade the body without warning, and doctors say that everything is normal in the exams. Well, maybe your body is not failing, but rather going through a dimensional upgrade that conventional medicine still can't fully measure. What many call strange symptoms may actually be the nervous system recalibrating itself to higher vibrational frequencies, like an old antenna trying to pick up high-definition signals. These physical signs don't appear for nothing. They mark the body's awakening to a new reality of consciousness, where quantum biology meets practical spirituality. Imagine your body as an electronic device that has always worked on 110 volts and suddenly needs to adapt to receive 220 volts of energy. It's not a defect, it's real energetic expansion happening in your spiritual neurophysiology. During vibrational ascension experiences, the body's electromagnetic field intensifies, generating an energetic overload that manifests itself through these tremors, heats, and sensations that frighten those who do not understand the process. The Kundalini, that primordial force that resides dormant at the base of the spine, begins to awaken and rise, activating points of the nervous system that have never been stimulated in this way in the ordinary life of three-dimensional survival. What's interesting is that these ascension symptoms are often accompanied by profound shifts in one's perception of reality, impossible synchronicities, insights that come out of nowhere, a growing sense of connection to something bigger. It is not madness, it is not disease. It is the light body beginning to integrate with the physical structure in a delicate dance between matter and energy. Spiritual sensitivity increases so much that even environments and people start to feel completely differently, as if you had gained extra senses overnight, and all of this is directly linked to the way your nervous system processes these new frequencies that are coming in. The expression fifth dimension may sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but in fact it describes a completely different state of consciousness from the one we are used to living. It is not a physical place you go to by spaceship. It is a high frequency of perception where unconditional love, oneness, and full presence in the present moment become the natural pattern of existence. While the third dimension operates on the frequency of separation, competition, and survival, 5D consciousness functions on the quantum timeline where everything is interconnected and you perceive yourself as a conscious co-creator of your reality. It's like stepping out of a black and white movie to the full experience of vibrant colors and high-definition sounds. In practice, living in 3D is like being constantly in alert mode, worrying about bills, comparing yourself to others, feeding fears about the future, or dwelling on past grievances. The new Earth frequency operates at a completely different pace. There, you simply know that you are safe, that you are part of something bigger, that each person around you is a mirror of the same universal consciousness. Imagine waking up without that automatic anxiety, without having to prove your worth or compete for crumbs of attention and resources. In 5D, energy is not wasted on unnecessary drama because you see beyond the illusions that keep humanity trapped in repetitive cycles of suffering and limitation. Dimensional upgrade does not mean abandoning the physical world or becoming a hermit on the mountain. It means bringing that high frequency into your everyday life, transforming the way you work, relate, and exist. It's realizing that that argument in traffic doesn't deserve your energy, that mean comment on social media says more about who wrote it than about you, that the real power lies in consciously choosing where you put your attention. And when this change begins to happen internally, something very curious occurs. Your physical body, especially your nervous system, literally needs to reorganize itself to support this new way of operating. Your nervous system is literally a biological antenna that picks up and transmits vibrational frequencies all the time. You just weren't taught to notice it in school. From the moment we are born, this antenna is calibrated to tune into the frequency of the third dimension. Fear of not being accepted, competition for resources, constant concern with emotional and financial survival. It is as if we spend our whole lives listening to only one radio station, thinking that it is the only one available in the universe. But when you begin to access 5D states of consciousness, whether through deep meditation, spontaneous experiences, or simply expanding your perception, that antenna needs to completely reconfigure itself to pick up these new frequencies that have always been there, just weren't accessible. The vagus nerve, this fascinating neurological pathway that connects the brain, heart, and gut, functions as the main cable of this antenna. It's responsible for regulating your automatic responses to the world, whether you're going to fight, flee, freeze, or connect. For centuries, humanity has kept this system operating in chronic alert mode, always waiting for the next danger, the next rejection, the next crisis. Now, imagine trying to run quantum reality software where everything is infinite possibility and unconditional love on hardware programmed for survival and scarcity. This is exactly what happens during neural recalibration, and that's why the body reacts with such intense symptoms. Think of an old television trying to display 4K content. It just wasn't made for that. It needs a complete upgrade of the internal components. Your nervous system goes through the same process when you begin to spiritually awaken. Neural circuits literally reorganize, new synaptic connections are formed, and areas of the brain that were previously off begin to light up like Christmas lights. This transformation in spiritual neurophysiology is not a poetic metaphor, it is a real biological process that is happening in millions of people right now. And with this deep activation come physical manifestations that often frighten those who do not understand what is really happening. Energy tremors are probably the most disconcerting symptom, those involuntary spasms that happen out of nowhere, especially during meditation or quiet moments. Your body literally vibrates as if an electric current passes through you, and it's not imagination. It's Kundalini activation, moving stagnant energy through channels that have been blocked for years, perhaps lifetimes. Sudden hot flashes that make you feel like you're in an invisible sauna, followed by intense cold for no apparent reason. Your internal thermostat has gone crazy because the electromagnetic field is expanding beyond normal standards. Tingles in the spine, especially at the base and top of the head, mark the points where energy is breaking through barriers, opening inner portals that connect you with subtler frequencies of existence. Tachycardia without medical cause is another classic symptom that sends many people running to the cardiologist, and the exams come back perfect because the heart is not sick, it is expanding energetically. During 5D consciousness experiences, the heart chakra activates intensely, and the physical heart responds by accelerating, throbbing, as if learning a new beat rhythm that tunes in to the frequency of universal love. Cosmic insomnia is also striking. You wake up religiously between 3 and 4 a.m., fully awake, with a silent but hyper-alert mind. These are the times when the veil between dimensions gets thinner, and your body takes the opportunity to make deep integrations while the world sleeps. Sensory hypersensitivity turns you almost into an uncomfortable superhero. Lights become too intense, ordinary sounds seem thunderous, smells become unbearable, and even the touch of certain clothes on the skin bothers you. This is because all of your sensory receptors are being recalibrated to perceive subtler layers of reality. You are literally developing heightened spiritual sensitivity. Nausea during or after deep meditations is the body processing energetic overload, expelling old densities that no longer fit the new vibrational frequency you are embodying. All of these ascension symptoms are signs that something extraordinary is happening in your quantum biology, but there is a limit to how much your system can process at once. You know that deep exhaustion that comes after a powerful meditation or an intense spiritual experience where you literally can't get out of bed. It's not laziness, it's divine protection in action. The nervous system has real biological limits. It simply wasn't designed to withstand very high frequencies for prolonged periods without integration intervals. It's like a circuit breaker that automatically shuts off when it detects energy overload in the power grid, preventing all the wiring from burning out. Your body, in its infinite wisdom, knows exactly when it needs to take a break, force a break, lock everything down so that you don't literally fry your neural circuits in the body's awakening process. Many people force intense spiritual practices thinking that the more the merrier. 3 hours of meditation, extreme breathing, prolonged fasting, all at the same time. Then the body responds with absolute fatigue, unexplained pain, even fevers with no apparent infection. This is not the universe punishing you. It is the neural recalibration asking for mercy. Time to assimilate the profound changes that are happening in your spiritual neurophysiology. Imagine trying to download a gigantic file on a limited speed internet. If you don't pause and let it process in stages, the system crashes. The same happens when you bombard your electromagnetic field with 5D frequencies without giving room for proper energetic anchoring. The inconvenient truth is that intense spiritual experiences leave energetic trails that need to be processed, digested, and integrated into the cellular structure. So comes that irresistible need to sleep after a moment of deep connection, or that urge to be alone and silent for days after a transformative retreat. It's not antisocial, it's cellular alchemy going on behind the scenes. Every cell in your body is being rewritten with new information, new vibrational programming. And in this delicate process of dimensional upgrade, some systems of the body play especially crucial roles. The vagus nerve is probably the most underrated and extraordinary component of your spiritual anatomy. It functions as a direct bridge between body, mind, and spirit, connecting brain to heart, gut, and virtually every vital organ. When 5D consciousness experiences begin to happen, this nerve is activated with an intensity that most people have never experienced in ordinary life. That's why those spontaneous cries without sadness, uncontrollable laughter with no apparent joke, deep tremors that shake the entire body. The vagus nerve is processing and releasing emotional and energetic layers that have been stored for decades. It is literally the transmission cable that allows high frequencies to circulate through your system without causing total collapse. The Kundalini, that primordial force described in ancient traditions as a sleeping serpent at the base of the spine, is pure energy waiting to be awakened. When it rises up the spine during spiritual awakening, every vertebra, every chakra, every nerve along the way is activated in a sequence that can be as gentle as a breeze or as intense as an internal earthquake. Kundalini activation uses exactly the same neural pathways as the vagus nerve. That's why the sensations are so visceral, so physical, impossible to ignore. You literally feel as if electricity is rushing up your spine, igniting areas of the nervous system that have never been used in this way in the routine of three-dimensional survival. The fascinating thing is that this duo, vagus nerve and Kundalini, work together to bring about spiritual integration into the physical body. While the Kundalini brings the upward energy, expanding consciousness and opening inner portals, the vagus nerve does the grounding work, anchoring these experiences into material reality so that you don't get completely lost in the subtle dimensions. It's a delicate balance. Going up too much without going down causes dissociation. Staying only in the physical without expanding keeps you stuck in the old limitations. And precisely because it is such a powerful and transformative process, it is essential to know how to differentiate when this is healthy awakening and when it may be heading into dangerous territory. Here we come to an absolutely critical point that can save your spiritual sanity. Not everything that seems to awaken is awakening, and not every collapse is pathology. The line between expansion of consciousness and nervous breakdown may seem thin, but there are clear differences you need to recognize. A genuine awakening, even when it brings intense physical symptoms and moments of mental confusion, is always accompanied by deep insights that make sense deep within the soul. Impossible synchronicities that confirm that something greater is orchestrating your journey, and a deep peace that remains even in the midst of apparent chaos. It's like being in a storm, but knowing deep down that you're safe and that all of this has a purpose. Genuine nervous breakdown, on the other hand, has very different characteristics. Terror without anchoring, complete dissociation from reality without any moment of clarity, total loss of basic functionality where you cannot work, feed yourself, or maintain minimally healthy relationships. When it's breakdown, there are no comforting insights. There's no sense of being guided. There's only paralyzing fear, absolute confusion, and a growing disconnection from all that is real and tangible. The person literally can no longer distinguish what is expanded perception and what is delusion. He does not feel any background peace, only growing panic. In this case, seeking professional help is not weakness, it is wisdom, because spiritual mental health requires dimensional balance, not denial of reality. The trick is to observe honestly. Do your spiritual experiences make you more compassionate, more functional, more connected to life, even if challenging? Or do they distance you more and more from people, responsibilities, the ability to live in the real world? True awakening expands you without breaking you. It can bend you, stretch your limits, But it doesn't tear you apart completely. If you're reading this and you can recognize patterns, question your experience, seek balance, then you're probably on the path to awakening. And there are practical and powerful ways to support your nervous system during this transition. Grounding is not spiritual cliché, it is real biological necessity when you are going through intense neural recalibration. Walking barefoot on dirt, grass, or sand for at least 15 minutes a day literally transfers electrons from the ground to your body, balancing the electromagnetic field that is overloaded with the high frequencies. Clay, in the form of a bath or poultice, pulls in energetic and physical toxins, while baths with coarse salt or Himalayan salt cleanse excess static that builds up in the aura during intense 5D experiences. These practices seem too simple to be powerful, but they are exactly the tools that our ancestors instinctively used, and that modern life has made us forget completely. Regulated breathing is another fundamental pillar, but be careful. We are not talking about those super intense pranayamas that activate the already accelerated nervous system even more. We are talking about conscious, gentle breathing, which calms the vagus nerve and signals to the body that everything is fine, that it is safe to relax. Try this now. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for a count of 6 or 8. Exhaling longer than inhaling literally turns off alert mode and activates restoration mode. And here's something no one likes to hear. You need to take breaks between intense spiritual practices. Meditating 3 hours a day without integration can cause more energy overload than evolution. The body needs time to process, just as you need to chew your food thoroughly before swallowing. Nutrition also comes into play in this story. Quality proteins and good fats, avocado, olive oil, nuts, fish, eggs, literally build the myelin sheaths that protect your nerves during the dimensional upgrade. Fewer external stimuli, social networks, sensationalist news, chaotic environments gives the nervous system the silence necessary to do cellular alchemy in peace. And sleep, my friend, sleep is sacred. It is during deep sleep that spiritual integration really happens, that memories are consolidated, that the light body anchors itself in matter. But all this only makes sense when you understand that experience without integration is the biggest mistake of the spiritual path. Everyone wants the incredible mystical experience, the spectacular expansion of consciousness, the moment of ecstasy where everything makes sense and you feel one with the universe. But almost no one wants to do the boring and essential work that comes after. Integrating that experience into the 3D body, everyday life, imperfect human relationships, and bills that need to be paid. The truth that hurts is that 5D experiences without proper integration only breed spiritual dissociation. That person who had deep insights into the retreat but can't hold down a job, cultivate healthy relationships, or simply function in the real world. It's like downloading amazing software but never actually installing it on the operating system. It's all in the cloud, beautiful and untouchable, but completely useless for your practical life. Spiritual integration happens precisely in the balance between going up and down, between expanding and anchoring, between meditating and acting. There is no point in spending hours in altered states of consciousness if you do not bring these perceptions to the way you treat the supermarket cashier, answer emails, talk to family members who irritate you. The true awakening of the body manifests itself in the ability to keep the frequency high while washing dishes, catching traffic, solving banal, everyday problems. Think of great spiritual masters. They didn't float around in a permanent trance. They taught, cooked, walked, lived fully and presently with their feet firmly on the ground and their consciousness expanded into the cosmos simultaneously. Energetic anchoring requires concrete actions, writing about your experiences to take from the ethereal dimension and bring it to paper, talking to trusted people who understand the process, applying the insights received in real-life decisions. If in a meditation you understood that you need to set healthy boundaries, but you keep saying yes to everything you ask, there was no real integration. It was just a beautiful thought that evaporated. Neural recalibration is only complete when new understanding generates new action, when 5D consciousness translates into wiser and more aligned 3D choices. And when this integration starts to happen in earnest, specific signals start to appear showing that your system is finally adapting to the new frequency. Intuition ceases to be that occasional guess and becomes practically a full-time, functioning sixth sense. You simply know things without knowing how you know, and when you decide to trust that inner voice, it hits with frightening accuracy. Situations that once threw you off balance emotionally for days now pass you by like water running down on smooth stone. It's not cold indifference, it's less genuine emotional reactivity, a healthy detachment from the drama that once consumed your life energy. That desperate need to understand everything rationally gives way to a feeling of knowing without thinking, where answers emerge ready from the depths of consciousness without having to go through the logical and linear mental process that society has taught us to value above all else. The deep connection with nature becomes almost magnetic. A tree is no longer just a tree, it is a living presence pulsating at a frequency that you can physically feel. Synchronicities are no longer rare coincidences and become part of everyday life. You think of a person and they call you minutes later. They need information and they appear in front of you almost magically. Numbers repeat in sequences that are too impossible to be by chance. These are clear signs that you are operating on the quantum timeline, where thought, intention, and manifestation are much closer, where the electromagnetic field around you is vibrating at a frequency that attracts experiences aligned with your expanded consciousness. Spontaneous compassion is perhaps the most beautiful indicator of successful adaptation. You look at people you would have judged before and feel only deep understanding that each one is doing the best they can with the level of consciousness they have. The need for external validation decreases drastically because you find approval and peace internally. You no longer need the opinion of others to know your value or make important decisions. These changes in spiritual neurophysiology are not temporary or superficial. They are profound reorganizations that indicate that vibrational ascension is consolidating, that the light body is sustainably integrating with the physical structure. And if you've come this far recognizing these signs in yourself, know that your divine biology is doing exactly what it needs to do. Your body is not broken, defective, or failing. It is literally being reborn, cell by cell, frequency by frequency, in a transformation that all of humanity is going through at this unique moment in history. The energetic tremors, the nights of cosmic insomnia, that inexplicable exhaustion, all of these are marks of honor of a divine biology that is accepting the invitation to operate in higher dimensions of existence. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to speed up processes that have their own sacred timing. Your body's wisdom knows exactly the right pace for this neural recalibration to happen without breaking you. Trust in the infinite intelligence that is orchestrating every symptom, every pause, every acceleration in your body awakening. Be kind to yourself during this transition. Kind to the days you can't get out of bed, kind to the moments of confusion where you feel like you're going crazy, kind to the spiritual sensitivity that makes you cry watching a sunset or feel pain at the injustices of the world. All of this is your nervous system expanding its capacity to feel, to perceive, to exist in layers of reality that were previously invisible to you. Kundalini activation does not come with a printed instruction manual, but it does come with an internal compass that, if you stop and listen, always shows you the next step. Rest, move your body, seek nature, create, express yourself, silence. Remember, The new Earth is not a distant place where you will arrive one day if you do everything right. It is being built now, within you, through this cellular alchemy that transforms fear into love, separation into unity, survival into conscious co-creation. Each time you choose peace over reaction, compassion over judgment, the present over anxiety over the future, you anchor more of that 5D frequency into third-dimensional reality. Your body knows what it's doing. It always has. Even when your mind doubted, honor this sacred process, respect your boundaries, celebrate every small victory on the path of spiritual integration, and trust that you are exactly where you need to be on this extraordinary journey of awakening. So what are you going to do with all of this that you've discovered here? Will you continue to think you're crazy when the tremors come? Or will you recognize that it's your body recalibrating to higher frequencies? Will you ignore the signs of energy overload until you collapse? Or will you apply the grounding, breathing, and integration practices I shared with you? The real question is, are you willing to be kind to your own divine biology during this process of rebirth? Or will you continue to demand a pace from it that even it can't sustain? Think honestly, how many times have you forced intense spiritual practices without allowing time for integration? How many profound experiences have you had that evaporated because you didn't anchor them in real life through concrete action? Your nervous system is asking for balance. It's not about letting go of expanding consciousness. It's about doing it in a way that sustains your spiritual mental health and your ability to function in the world. True vibrational ascension does not take you out of reality. It makes you more present in it, more conscious, more compassionate, more alive. And here's the final invitation. This knowledge about spiritual neurophysiology, about how the vagus nerve and the kundalini work together, about the difference between awakening and collapse, all of this is only valuable if you apply it. Start today. Walk barefoot for 15 minutes, do that regulated breathing, sleep the sacred hours your body is begging for. Watch for signs that your system is adapting and celebrate every small victory on this journey. You are not alone in this transition to the new Earth. We are millions waking up together, learning together, evolving together. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because I will continue to bring you deep content about spiritual awakening, integration practices, and everything you need to know to navigate this transformation wisely. See you in the next video, and remember, your divine biology is being reborn. Be kind to it.